Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, November 24th. It is a couple of days before Thanksgiving, and it has been quite a while since my last update. I was feeling a lot of stress because my baby was having a simple surgery, but she's my baby and it was surgery. She has since had her surgery. Everything went well. There were no issues, thankfully. She was a little upset for a couple of days afterwards, but we are completely on the mend. She is healing. We have no issues, and the doctors do not think we are going to need a second surgery, which is all that I really could ask for because I do not want to do this again. My name is Nick, and this is my Flosstube channel. Where I talk about cross-stitching, very rarely some sewing, quilting, but it is something that I do on occasion, and all of the flossy friends that I'm meeting on my cross-stitching journey. So I am going to show you guys all of the stitching I have finished since my last update. I'm going to show you some fully finished objects, none of which were finished by me, but that is okay. I just don't finish my own things. I am too scared. I see so many people do beautiful finishes, and when I look at the things that I finished, I feel regret, sadly. And that is not something I want to feel when I look at my stitching, but I just think, oh, this would have looked so much better if I had been able to do this, that, or if this other person had been able to do it for me. So now I just am going in between sending it off to finishers or sending it off for framing. Just works for me. I'd like to pretend that someday people will keep my stitching, like that my children will hold on to it forever. Time will tell. So I'm going to show you my finishes, my fully finished objects. I think in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have a video about the list that I have mentioned, my 2019-2020 would like to finish list. I'm going to show you everything that I had on that list. And if I started it, if I didn't, show you the finish. And I think that's how I'm going to close out the year and probably talk about what I want to do in 2021. Do you see I'm hoping? I am propelling my excited and positive energy into 2021 and hoping for a vastly different year than this one. So I digress. I'm going to just start off. I had these in order of finishing at some point. It has been completely muddled. I think I'm just going to have to pick one from the top and go. So here it is. This is officially the favorite thing that I have stitched in 2020. It is George Decorates for Martha, technically, by Plymouth Street Samplers. In reality, this is Chris Decorates for Nick. Chris is my husband. That is an accurate portrayal of him in stitching form. And me. Also a pretty accurate portrayal of me, except I might be slightly scared of birds, so that probably wouldn't happen, but black is just my color. I had tried to get married in a black and gold dress, and everybody was not about that. And I listened to everybody, and I think that's my one regret for my wedding. I told my husband for my vow renewal, I would be in black. It's happening. And I threw my little nugget in there. Also an accurate portrayal of her in stitching form. She is a clone of her father. But I did a lot of changes to this, 100%. This was a American piece, like an American historical piece, really. It was George Washington in his home decorating for his wife, Martha. There were flags everywhere, and that's just not my thing. So I stitched not a single flag. I think it actually called for blue in this pattern, and I only only used blue on the eyes of my husband and my daughter. I changed the entire house, and I obviously changed the people. But the base of the pattern is Plum Street. You can see it. I'm in love with it. And the exciting thing now is when I had finished this, the pattern had not been released to the general public. It was a Dying to Stitch Kindred Spirits club piece from 2019. It has since been released and you can now purchase it. I have seen it on Top Knot Stitcher Shop, Hollis Hands Creates, everywhere. I think even Acorns and Threads sent a newsletter that they have it. Pretty much anywhere that you get your normal Plum Street will have it now. So yay! Yay for that. I want to fix the lighting. I don't know if I can. We're gonna try. Hold on. I always run into a problem into this room. This is always the best room to do my floss tubes in. Space-wise. Light-wise, not so much. Yeah, I think that's as lucky as I'm going to get, and considering how long it took me to do this, we're just gonna roll with it. So, Chris decorates for Nick, inspired by Plum Street samplers. George decorates for Martha. And I've never stitched my family. Like, I've never had a stitch. I don't know, I just never thought to do it. And I'm excited to put this up in the fall now because it represents my little family. Very exciting for me. Which, speaking of Thanksgiving, we're just doing the 3 little family. But I want to know what everybody's cooking. Tell me what you're cooking. I'm hoping to get this video up tomorrow. So let me know what you're making tomorrow in the comments. I'm roasting a chicken. We have named him Charles. I am making sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, stuffed shells because I am Italian. And I do that like from scratch. I don't make the pasta though. But I make all the sauce. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to pack the shells tomorrow, and then everything's just going to go in the oven Thursday. I'm going to try to make stuffed mushrooms now that I spoke with my Instagram buddy, and she mentioned it, and I'm like, yes! How did I forget about stuffed shells? My aunt made those. She is rolling over there in her grave, being like, Nicole, I don't know what happened, but digress. So tell me what you're making, because I need more suggestions for 3 people. For 2.5 people, I need more food. This next one is a freebie from my friend Deanna of Darling and Whimsy Designs. She told me actually that her idea for this pattern gave birth after a conversation she and I had about looking for tombstone patterns. I have a newfound love for tombstone patterns, and I started this on Halloween, and I really wanted to finish. And she has this tombstone filled in. And I know it was a lot. She said it was a lot when she was doing it. So I decided I was going to go for the finish, not fill it in, just have the Here Lies My Remains. I don't know how I'm going to finish it yet. I might turn it into a little pillow because that I am confident in doing, finishing wise. For some reason, making things into pillows is easy. I think I did a lot of pillows when I was in my quilting stage, so I don't mind doing that. But like finishing into flat folds, nope, I can't even frame things right. I'm always impressed when people do. I can't. So, Darling and Whimsy Designs, My Remains, which while I'm talking about Deanna, I started a new work piece today, which is also by her. It is one of her quirky Quakers. It is, I can tell you what number because I have the pattern right here. It is Quirky Quaker number 3, Bat. Look how cute he is. And I wanted to get him done now because it is still fall. And once December comes, I just feel like I'm going to be 100% Christmas stitching all the darned time. So I wanted to get him out. So I think probably by tomorrow I could finish him up. I don't know what it is about these Quirky Quakers though. I screw them up every time. I miscounted something there. Now this is off by a stitch. It's not going to be even. I did the same thing to the first one I stitched, but I'm gonna go with it. They are extra quirky, my quickers. So, oh, I'm putting it in a finish pile. Nope, to work on tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow I will have another finish. While I work, I do a lot of stitching because I spend a lot of time on the phone, a lot of time on hold. And so I also finished this piece by Luminous Fiber Arts. It was in the Just Cross Stitch Halloween magazine this year. And it is so cute. I used all of the calls for colors. Ooh, fingernail. Sorry. And my dye lots for these oranges must have been super off because you can see the contrast there now. But you couldn't until I backstitched around the lines that are going through. And I used the called for colors and I checked her finish, and you could very clearly see that there were two different oranges used in that jack-o'-lantern, and I wasn't getting that effect, but I did get the desired effect once I did the back stitching, so happy about that. And the only thing I did different was I gave everybody enormous whiskers, because a cat with enormous whiskers just makes my heart happy. Which is funny because I have two hairless cats. Whenever I bring them to the vet, they always comment on the fact that they are whiskerless and that they would not do well out in the outdoors because the whiskers apparently are very helpful and whiskerless. But I make up for it in my stitching. Whiskers, look at that. Look at that happy kid. Pleased with those whiskers. Talking a lot today. Hopefully everybody's here for it. I think my anxiety levels have smoothed out, so I feel much more comfortable just in every aspect of my life. So it's a good thing. Chatty me, you get chatty cross-stitching next. My next piece was a bigger piece, which was the Drama Llama Sampler by Michelle of Bendy Stitchy Designs, but this is the RBG version, the Ruth Bader Ginsburg version. So after RBG passed away, I was one of the many people who was greatly saddened by her passing. Forever grateful for everything she has done for women in America, and I wanted something to remember her, and I loved this sampler. And so I had said on Instagram that I was going to change one of the alphabets to be a quote of hers. And Michelle saw that and she ran with it. She charted the quote for me. She changed everything up. She put RBG in the alphabet there. She put her date of birth and her date of passing on here. And she turned the crown. These are supposed to be crowns on the original pattern. She turned them upside down so they could be descent colors. So she basically completely revamped this to be all about Ruth. And I was so excited that I do not stitch alphabets. I just don't. Not a thing I'm into. I stitched them. And there were two. I stitched them both. And I really, really loved it. And a big thank you to Michelle for being as awesome as she always is. I'm going to pause this and see if I can get better lighting, I think. Wait. It's hard to tell. I used to color in cottons. And at this point, I don't remember what color in cotton I used. I think it might be ash plum. Ash plum, and that's too light to be dark truffle. It's probably hot cocoa. Maybe caramel brownie. One of those. I love color in cotton colors. And I'll randomly go on their website see what they have in stock, throw a couple in a basket and buy it with no like real reason, and then I find reasons to use them later on, and it always works out really well for me. That's better. There, you can see the colors there. So this was exciting, and this actually went very quickly for me. And the borders look intimidating, but I've tried this new thing where I'm trying to look at borders differently and find a way to stitch them that will make it easier on me. So for instance, for this, I actually stitched all the browns going across the very top line. I went line by line for a bit. So I did all the top because it was just, 7 or however many it was, skip 1, do another 7, skip 1, and do it all the way to the end. And it just worked out a lot easier for me. And I'm finding a lot of other borders that I would normally find difficult, if I'm reimagining how you would stitch them instead of going in that crazy pattern that they're in, it's easier, at least for me. If anybody else does that, let me know. Interesting to see, right? But I plan on having this framed and having it up in my house because I love it. And I didn't read the quote to you, I should have. Real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. And I think no matter what year that is, no matter what the situation is, that's a good quote to have on your wall. So, it's going up there. I know I had another big piece. Big. It is big FFOS. Here it is. This is a big finish in the sense of the fabric, but small in the stitching. This was, my stuff's all wrinkled. A Liz Matthews piece. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus. And the idea behind this is that you frame it with a lot of fabric showing so that it looks like a white sign, and you're really using the fabric as part of the piece, which I don't often do in cross stitch. So I ordered a gargantuan piece. We'll see if when I fit it to be framed, if it will have anything left over that I can use. It is the called for. It was an odd count. It was like a 35 count or a 37 count. I think it was 37. I think it was 37 cloud. It is what is called for. So you can definitely find it on the pattern. And, I knew when I was stitching it that the letters had to be big, right? Because it was meant to be a big sign for easy to read. I was still surprised at how long these letters took, but in the end it was quick, and I think it was worth it. It was a really nice, simple piece. I think I used Classic Colorworks Black Coffee. I think that's what I used for these letters, probably, because that's one of the colors that I really tend to gravitate towards. Because it is still dark, but you can still see the variegation, and I like that. And I want you guys to know, I bought a frame for this, for me to do. I bought 2 frames, actually, because Michael's was having a sale. It was like, buy one, get one free. So I needed this gargantuan frame, and they were going to give me one for free. It was like a $40 frame. Heck yes, I was taking the other frame. So I did, and it's sitting in my house because I am so scared to frame it. Do you guys know, can I bring my frame to Michael's and say, can you frame this for me? Am I asking too much? Is it just, Nicole, just try and frame it, you'll be okay? Does somebody want to come to my home and frame it for me? I have the frame. I'm not even kidding. I should be ashamed. But I'm just so scared. It can't look crooked. And then lacing is just not a thing. I mean, I could probably watch Stephanie Webb's, not a tutorial on lacing, and figure it out, but if I could pay someone to do it for me, I would much prefer that. So if I can bring this to Michael's with the frame and say, can you put this in here? Please, somebody tell me. And if none of you tell me, I guess I'll call Michael's and see what they say. If Michael's is open, we're back. We're almost completely shut down again. California has like tier colors, and we're back in purple. So I don't know when that will be, but still let me know, because good to know. Oh, I need to, okay, so I just saw this and I need to cut the extra fabric off of this because I have enough space for another pattern. But this was a Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher 2019 finish. And I changed every single color. Can you guys see that I like the black and gold colors? Those were the colors my wedding dress was supposed to be. Not this, but black and gold. So I changed it. One of my other favorite colors is Gentle Arts Golden Leaf, I think it is. And I use it, anytime you see me using like a yellow, it is probably that color. So I use that for here. I probably used whatever black I had lying around at the time. I don't remember. So I tend to stitch on the desk. If I showed you the desk, you guys would see random colors of threads everywhere, and I tend to pick them up later on and use them again on something that I'm stitching when when I'm not using the called for colors. So I think that's what happened here. I knew I wanted to use that gold, and then afterwards I just kind of winged it. But it came out really nice. I'm really happy with her. She's super cute. I'm starting a witch wall. I just don't know if I want her framed or if I'm going to send her off to Alyssa at StarryNightsStudio for finishing. I have another pile for you, Alyssa. It's not even normal. I stitch faster than I can get things finished. It's a good thing, right? It's a good problem to have. I'll just send you another package after the holidays. But yeah, so if you're looking for this, you can 100% go on to Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher. You can get the old issues. And this was one of my favorite little things that was in there. And this is what I gotta cut this because that's usable fabric. I can use that 100% for another small. So I don't know what fabric this is though. Like what, it's a picture of this plus. That's about it. It's a 36 count picture of this plus. I don't know if it's legacy or I don't think it is. I think it's got like a green hue to it. So I'm not really sure what. Picture this plus. But I'm going to put it over here so I remember to cut it. Another like big finish that I had in October was Dracula's Confession by Lindy Stitches, Stephanie Webb, and this was a couple of firsts for me. This color is not working. The light is not my friend today. Maybe. Wait, maybe if I put white behind it, you'll see it better. A little better. So, this is Dracula's Confession. It was my first time using silks because I purchased the thread, the floss pack from Lindy, from Stephanie, and it came with some black coral dinky dyes. I know that's a mess, but that's what it was. It's black coral. And I was like, well, I bought it. I'm going to use it. And it was surprisingly easier than I thought. And I liked it. So I'm sure I will try and do silk again. He was a big baddie. But overall, this pattern was a lot of fun to go through. I really enjoyed it. I loved that there was different borders everywhere and it still somehow just made so much sense. This was also my first time using an X Jewel Design fabric. The light isn't doing it justice. It's beautiful. I believe this is called Halloween Time. It's a 36 count. It was a much bigger piece of fabric. I cut a piece of it off and it worked out really well. I had the color splotches in really great spots and I was really excited to use it for this piece. I'm going to frame this one also. Well, we already know that I will be framing it, but it will be framed. I just don't know if I'm going to keep it out. I feel like it's like a fall piece, right? Like you only keep it out in the autumn. I could keep it out year round, but thinking fall. It says, I love the shade and the shadow and would be alone with my thoughts when I may. Accurate. And this is a quote that Dracula himself says. It was pretty early on in the book because I did read the book. I listened to it as I was stitching, and that was a lot of fun. That was my first time doing that. A lot of freaking firsts. Good stitch. Good stitch. Isn't that great when you can love all of your stitching? I think like sometimes we make presents for people, or I mean, some people take commissions too, or you're model stitching, and it's not always something you love, but you're doing it because you said you would, or you want to do something for somebody else to make them happy. And it's just so much fun when you look at everything you've stitched and been like, I loved that. I loved doing every stitch of that. Yes. The next piece I did, I think the rest are smalls. This one is apropos for the time. It is an artist design piece that you can get on her website. You can pay what you think the pattern is worth. It is called No New Worlds, which she designed as a counterpoint to the anniversary of the Mayflower's arrival in America. And it's just really meant to make you think. And I am all about that, right? Because cross-stitching is a craft, is an art. And art is supposed to make you think. So if I can get this up and in my home and probe questions from little people, I am all here for it. And I think it's an interesting take on it, right? Because how can something be new if other people were here? Yeah. So I think I used a coloring cotton. It might be sweet potato, but I am second guessing that. Again, my lighting is poor today and it is not showing off as great as I would like it to. But it was quick. It was done within a day. And if you feel like doing some stitching this holiday, that might be something you want to take a look into. Thank you, Amanda May, for giving us that jumping off point, a new conversation starter. I'm here for it. The next three are a set. See this? I am so bad. I don't know if you can tell. I leave needles and everything. Every time my husband picks something up, he's like, is there a needle in this? I'm like, most likely, yeah. If I put it down, there was probably a needle in it. Give me 1 second. Put some, it shouldn't even be in here because I finished the piece, but you know. I did hands-on designs, flamingo ornaments that she released earlier. I can't remember, it was October, earlier this month. I got them from Top Knot Stitcher Shop from Abby and Jam. I also got the floss packs and I completed all three. They were super quick and fun and funny because they're flamingos and they're celebrating Christmas. This one is Flamingo Bells, and this one was my absolute favorite one. It was something beautiful about being surrounded by just Christmas bells. I mean, they're all beautiful, but this one really spoke to me. The one flamingo was the last one I did. Then there was Fa La La Bingo, which is just two happy mingos. Ooh, in their winter gear and their getup. Some holly berries. And then there was Flamingo All the Way. And this one is a pyramid of flamingos surrounded by some ornaments. And hopefully you're singing. The flamingo version of Jingle Bells and all of that. But Hands-On Design puts out the cutest Christmas stuff every year, and I'm actually working on her 12 Days of Christmas series. I have a couple of them finished. They're over there. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna show them to you on my I'm gonna show them to you when I finish all 12, which hopefully will be before the year end. But yeah, and she's got and they're so fast. Like everything she designs looks so detailed and intricate. and you just fly through them. And it's just, I have no idea how she gets so much detail into such a tiny bit of stitched piece. I'm telling you, cross stitch is such a beautiful art. I'm just forever impressed by the crafty people. But those are my mangoes. We're almost done with my stitching. Let's see, what do I have left here? This was another Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher 2019 piece. This one was called, oh goodness, I'm gonna butcher it because I don't remember. It was like tulip, bird and pumpkin, bird, tulip and pumpkin, pumpkin, tulip and bird, something of those. The words were tulip, bird and pumpkin. They were all in there, and I don't remember the order they came in, but I used none of the called for colors. He was just a quirky little bird, and I loved him, and I can't even explain to you why, but I just fell in love with this little bird. I used mostly color and cottons, dark truffle, vintage Valentine, sweet potato. Goodness, I wish the light was on my side for this one. No. The problem with the sun going down early, right? And then I used a limited edition Gentle Art that Abby from Top Knot. My goodness, I talk so fast I just roll over my words. Top Knot Stitcher Shop sent me. And it's beautiful purple and brown. Oh, you cannot see it. But it's beautiful. And I am super excited for this little bird. I think I want to frame this one. I think it's going to happen. But you can also get that in the same edition of the Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher that I got the Little Witch from. And I mean, I enjoyed it. And I don't think I've seen anybody stitch it. So if anyone else has stitched it, let me know. Show me yours, because I strayed completely away from the colors. So I want to see what colors you did. Tell me where to go. And then the last two, speaking of Abby designed a free pattern that you can get on her Instagram in her highlights called Trans Wizards Welcome. I have a lot of feelings, mainly of disappointment in somebody who was a huge role model in my life, played a really big part of my life. And this felt necessary for me. I needed to have this stitched. I'm going to send it to Alyssa to finish, and I'm going to put it with my Harry Potter area because I have one. And I decided to add in the wording after Margot on Instagram added in wording for hers, and I just thought it really made the piece perfect, and that's what I wanted. So it says Trans Witches and Wizards Welcome. So that is going to be very proudly displayed on my Potter shelf, and thank you, Abby, for this. This was important, and I'm so happy to stitch it. I didn't use the call for colors because I didn't have them, but I looked up the trans flag, went as close as I could to the colors, and went with those. I don't remember what colors they were on. They were just DMCs. This is definitely just white, but the other two, I can't even pretend that I remember. But if you'd like it, you can head over to her Instagram page, and I promise you will find it there on the highlight reel. I just looked it up on my desktop and then printed it right from there. It was easy peasy. And my last finish, I finished yesterday. It is another freebie. This one is a Prairie Schooler. I didn't see a name on the pattern, but it's this cute little owl that just says hoo hoo. He's meant to be stitched in two colors, but I added a green and another slight brown just for the branch to give him some dimension. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Probably send him to Alyssa, like you do with all good things. So I could put him on the wall. He's cute. He was quick. I like doing seasonal stitching in the season that I'm in, and it's still technically fall, so squeaked him right out before I hit December. Super cute. And that's all I've stitched. Well, that's all I've finished. I've worked a little on some whips, but I had so much finished that the whips are just going to be for another day. Maybe when I talk to you about the 12 days of Christmas. But I do want to show you my FFOs so I can put them out. Prepare yourself for some crinkles. All the crinkles. These are all from Alyssa at StarryNightsStudio. Look at him! Oh, he's so cute. This is called, I think, Singing Bird. And it reminds me of the birds in the Tiki Room in Disney. And I miss me some Disney so much. So I have a little, like, tiki area in my home. So he's going to go right on that top shelf. And he's so stinking cute. And look at the fabric she used in the back. It is perfect. I can hear the birds singing. I was going to sing it, but you don't want to hear my singing. But I have it in my head going, the tiki, 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 tiki room. And then I sang it anyway. The next, I have a lot of Abby today, is another Abby piece. This one is something you can buy on her actual shop. It is, I believe it's called Say Her Name. And the money is donated. And you can read on Abby's feelings and how close this is to her heart. And I wanted it up because, again, I want my stitching to be important and I want to start conversations. So this is going up in my home. And I couldn't have, I wanted it nice and simple. And I think it came out perfect. And what else? The dreaded crinkle. This one was from this year's Halloween Just Cross Stitch. It is by Lindy Stitches. It is called Grave Fellows. And again, about my newfound love of tombstone pieces. And look at that turkey vulture. We all know Stephanie loves a good bird, so I'm pretty sure her collection is just going to feature every bird at some point. And oh, I stitched it. Oh my goodness, you like how I blinked? I stitched it on, oh my goodness, is it called Trick or Treat? Eek by Picture This Plus. Oh my goodness, it's been a long time blanking. This one, sometimes I send things to Alyssa and I know that she must see them and hate me just a smidgy, just a smidgy, because not always easy. And this one was, I had this crazy fabric and I just didn't know what to do with it, and I kept taking it out. I just couldn't find a piece to do with it. So finally, I wanted to get some New Year's stitching to put up because I like to decorate for everything. And this was another freebie, a Plum Street Samplers freebie called New Year's Day. You can get it on her blog still. And when I was looking for fabric, I saw this and was like, oh, but it looks like a sky that's been colored with firework, right? Like it screamed it to me. And so I ran with it. It came out just as I had anticipated. And then I sat there going, oh Lord, how am I going to finish it? But then it became Alyssa's endeavor to figure out how she was going to finish it. And I mean, it's perfection. She chose a beautiful purple to go with it. And I'm so grateful that she still allows me to send things to her, because she deals with my nonsense, my but it's really perfect and I love it. It is, it's a flat fold that stands, and it's gonna go up as soon as Thanksgiving is over, because that's when I take out my New Year's and my Christmas decorations. So appreciate you for this. I have 2 more. This one is a primitive hairpiece. It is Rapunzel, and this one was sitting, this was the first piece I ever used overdyed flosses for. It was the first piece I'd come across that used gentle arts, and I had never heard of them. It was just, I just didn't know. I didn't know that, overdyes was a thing. So I ordered them, and this is done. I used 2 strands, and this is definitely Ada. I don't know if it's 14 or 16 count, but I stitched it, and at some point ran out of the hair color and the brown. I think it's Picnic Basket and probably Onyx, and I put it down. I was doing this on my honeymoon. I have been married for like 4 years, and I just finished it this year because I was more versed in the flosses, and I ordered more and finished it out. And then inexperienced finishing me left like this much for finishing. I couldn't frame it. I was trying so hard, and I knew I couldn't send it to the framers because they were going to be like, but this is nothing. There's no way we can do this. So I sent a picture to Alyssa, and I was like, can you do this? Is it possible? And she said yes. And I did a happy dance, and I wrapped it up super fast and was like, oh, it's finally getting finished. I'm gonna put it up in this room. This is the littles room, as you can see. So we're gonna put it up in there, and I just love it. Came out really nice, and is actually full of memories. Like, I immediately see it. I remember stitching in Greece. I remember where the heck am I going to get these flosses from? These are expensive flosses. Like, I remember it all. So I'm excited to see it and have it up every day. Thank you, God, for Alyssa. And my last one is a Lindy Stitches piece. It is, the name. Oh my goodness, I should know the name of this. Bloom Where You Grow, I believe, or it's a Lindy Stitches piece. She must have it up and available in her shop. There is a saying that I believe goes underneath it, which of course is the saying that I am blanking on. And I'm not huge on sayings. I feel like when I see them, I am less likely to stitch them, more likely to stitch just what I see, the image. And I just thought this was so funny. I mean, look at it. There are 3 little skunks and a cat. Is the skunk the mother to the cat? Did she adopt the cat? Or is the cat aware of the precariousness of its situation and is determined to blend in to avoid catastrophe? Based on the quote, she's probably part of the family. But if I take that quote out, right, you're no longer sure. And I just love it, and I think it's great. And it's going to be out on my spring pattern, because what says spring like flowers and skunks? Nothing. So, those are my FFOs. A humongous thank you again to Alyssa for finishing my FFOs. And that's it. That's what I have for you. I feel like such a fast talker. I always feel like I have so much, and I still get through everything so fast, but that is okay. I hope everybody is safe. You're having a safe holiday if you're celebrating. Please still let me know what you are cooking, because I'm hungry and I want to know. And thank you for all your kind words last time that I posted about my baby. I appreciate it. It was any comfort I could take then. I was ready, willing, give all the comfort. Please come for me. And that's really it. So hopefully I'll see you with a lot of Christmas stitching in a couple of weeks. And then at the end of this year with my list run through. All right, I think that's it. I will see you all soon. Bye.